Yet again, a fantastic day to work out, and welcome to your 12 p.m. class with myself, Grace, from the Sports Science Institute of South Africa. Right before we get going, I wanted to touch on the do's and don'ts, or perhaps revise the do's and don'ts from our previous class, and expand on the unfavorable result, which would be your birth defects on the child. So did you know that birth defects are actually common? For many babies born with birth defects, they have an undiagnosed condition, or they have no family history to the condition. This is, of course, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Did you also know that a woman should take folic acid throughout her teens and throughout her life? Folic acid is known to help develop a baby's brain and spine, and therefore if the woman has to fall pregnant, this will play an advantage role in developing the baby. Lastly, did you know that an unborn child is not always protected from the outside world? So last week we spoke about the placenta being the main source of communication between the mom and the baby. And therefore, whatever the mom consumes, be it alcohol, drugs, smoking, the baby runs a risk of exposure. Fantastic. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's get into our workouts. Again, starting with our broomstick, placing it right behind the shoulders. We're going to tap into your rotations. Remember, with the rotations, you want to keep the hips facing forward and rotating sideways. We're literally just opening up the back throughout all the sitting, all the chores. This is your time to try and unwind. Fabulous. Right, and then from here on, we'll go with our extensions. So you really just want to work through that joint, that shoulder joint, opening up. Let's add a bit of breathing. So breathing in, deep breaths as you open up. We'll do one more. Fabulous. Alright, so then coming down on the mat, we're going to get into your lateral flexion, much like we did last week. So, seated on the ground, from here on, place your palm, your right palm on the ground, and from here on, bending the elbow, reaching out for the wall, open up those palms. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, can you go a bit further? Wonderful. And then we return to neutral. Take a big breath in to prepare. Bend the elbow and off we go. Open up the palms, reach out for the wall. Fabulous. Take a big breath in again. On the exhale, reach. Fabulous. And return back to neutral. Fantastic. Next up, we're going to work through our chest openers. So again, I'll sit sideways. Interlace your fingers right behind you. Open up your chest. Lift your head up. And collapse, returning back to neutral. We'll go for one more, taking in a nice big breath, opening up the chest. Send your head back. And return to neutral. Fantastic. Right, we're going to get into our cat-cow sequence. Chin to chest, upper back all the way up to the ceiling. And then return to neutral. You know what's next. We're going into downward dog. So from here on, firmly plant those hands into the ground. Tuck your toes into the earth, hips coming up. Heels coming down to the ground. So if this is too much for you, bend the knees, push back. Fantastic. Hold that stretch. I'm just going to straighten my legs because this is favorable for my hamstrings. And then from here on, let's walk the dog. So pushing out the heels, extending the heels to touch the ground, coming back onto your toes. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And slowly return to the ground. Fantastic. From here on, place your left leg right in front of you. Bring both palms onto the ground, and then we lift up. Right, from this position, you open up. So left arm facing all the way up to the ceiling, open up the palms, stretching out your thoracic spine. Good job. So what you want to do here, you want to collapse and sink those hips down to the ground. Good job. We're killing two birds with one stone, so thoracic rotation as well as your hip flexors. If this is too much, place your knee on the ground and don't forget to keep pushing in. Push in those hips. Good job. Take one more big breath. On the exhale, return. Fantastic. Right, so let's change legs. Right leg this time. Both palms coming down to the ground. Extend the back leg. Open up to the other side. Again, if this is too much, I'm happy for you to drop the knee. Push those hips forward. Watch for that knee that it doesn't fall out, so keep it in line with your second toe. Take one more big breath in and exhale to return. Fantastic. From here on, we're going to take it down to the mat for your thoracic rotations. So, this is where we start. So you're lying on the ground, shoulders stacked, facing one direction, making sure knees, feet are stacked on the ground. From here on, place one hand on top of the other, and then open up to the opposite side. Send your head to the side where your arm's gone, so right behind you. Keep those knees stacked and hips facing forward. Good job. Try to get the shoulder to touch the ground. And then return. Fantastic. Let's change sides. So again, shoulders one on top of the other, opening up and allowing that shoulder to drop down onto the ground. Fabulous. Keep the knees, hips facing forward. Good. And then the return. Wonderful. Okay, so today's workout has to do with a lot of mobility. We're going to use cans and we're going to use our body weight. Alright, so let's get into it. So with this workout, we're going to start off with what we call a modified Turkish get-up. So if you had some exposure to CrossFit, this is probably going to be the most excitement that you'll get close to CrossFit. So here's what's happening. Sit out with your legs extended, well, with your left leg extended, bend the right leg. Anchor your left leg behind or left arm behind you or hand behind you. Extend your arm all the way up to the ceiling, and guess what? You'll take a big breath in. On the exhale, send your hips up. Send the head back. Hold it there and return. Good job. I'm going to do 5 on each side if that's okay. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 4. Slowly down. Let's go. 3. Slowly down. Have you noticed that my arm is dead straight? It's locked out. 2. And slowly down. And then the last one. And slowly return. Fabulous. That wasn't so bad. Let's change sides. Good job. Right, extending your arm all the way up to the ceiling. Right leg extended. Left knee bent. And up we go. Take a big breath in and up. That's 1. And back down. Let's go 2. And down. And let's go 3. Hips up, squeeze the bum. Send your head back and slowly down. Good job. Let's go 4. Open up that energy of the palm. Last one. 5. And return. Good job. Next up, we're going to do Supermans. This time we're going same side. So grab your dumbbell or your can and we're going with the same side. Which means if you're going with the left side, you're extending the left arm and leg. If you're going with the right side, same follows. So I'm going to do modified and then I'm going to get into the advanced version. So modified, tuck your toe onto the ground. And here's what's happening. You lift the same arm and then return to all fours. Does that make sense? So you lift and back down again. So you lift and back down. Alright, now that we got the sequence, for all my moms that like the challenge, lift that toe off the ground and we're going for 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1 and let's go. That's it. Squeeze the bum as you extend the leg. Focus on a stationary object to keep your balance. Just a little hard work, working for that core keeping you nice and strong. We're also challenging your balance in this position. We've got 4 more seconds to go. 3, 2, and your time's up. Wonderful. Let's change sides. Right, so if you're doing modified on the other side, please stick to the same. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wonderful. Again, focusing on lifting that arm in line with your ears. Your leg is nice and strong. So you want a straight leg at the back. Squeeze your bum. That's it. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and time's up. Wonderful. Very well done. Next up, we're going with kneeling wood chops. So again, as this exercise suggests, kneeling. So one leg on the ground, other leg bent. Hold your dumbbell, and all you're doing is going diagonal. Wonderful. So we're also working for 30 seconds, lifting up diagonally, keeping everything touched. So you want to maintain that abdominal pressure, which obviously protects your back and keeps you upright without falling over. 10 more seconds, ladies, we can do this. And let's change sides. Good job. Right, ready? 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Keep that core nice and tight. Keep that knee facing forward. So try not to do that type of a movement. Keep your knee facing forward and extend those arms. Wonderful. We've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and our time's up. Wonderful. Right, the next exercise has a lot to do with our arms, so we're going to strengthen up those arms, particularly our triceps. So what this means is, again, I'm going to show the modified version, and if that's too easy for you and you'd like yourself a challenge, we're going to get into the advanced version. So sit out with your legs straight, open up your chest, arms behind you. From here on, you bring the legs into a bent position, lift your hips up. Alright? Swing your hips all the way down, take a seat. This is modified. And then lift up again. Squeeze the bum to keep your hips elevated. So I would want to see hips dipping. Keep your hips up. And then come back down to seated. Right, from all my moms that like a challenge, here we go. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, up we go. Squeeze. Now, when you return, do not sit down. Swing through your arms. Squeeze up. Good. Let's keep going, ladies. We're doing so well. Squeeze that bum. Send your head back. 10 more seconds. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and slowly return. Wonderful. That was actually really good, so well done. Next up, we're doing reverse flies. So we're going to take to our dumbbells, and if you've got a chair or a stool close by, pull that in, and we're going to go with our reverse flies. Again, reverse flies, feet at 90, and feet firmly planted on the ground, lean forward, place your dumbbells right underneath your hamstrings or your thighs. Keep yourself in a neutral spine, so no rounding up or arching your back. You want a neutral spine. From here, tucking the chin, and up we go. For 30 seconds. Lifting up to the height of your shoulders, so you want to lift there. You just want to maintain that lift and keep a soft bend in your elbows. Good job. 15 seconds on the clock. Wonderful. You're doing so well. Keep it up. 3, 2, and our time's up. Wonderful. Very, very well done. Next up, we're going to go with kneeling military press, or in other words, a shoulder press. So grabbing your dumbbells, kneeling, place your dumbbells by shoulder height, and all you're going with is extending the arms overhead, if that makes sense. I'm just going to lower myself down so you all have a clear view of how far or how high up you should go. So from here on, extending the arms and coming back down again for 30 seconds. That's it. Keep an upright posture, tucking in the belly. You want a nice tall spine, and you want to breathe. That's it. Good job. Last 10 seconds. 3, 2, and our time's up. Very, very well done. Next up, we're going to touch on the legs. So, we're going to get into a wall sit, which just pretty much means your back is against the wall, feet bent at 90 degrees. Wonderful. Alright, let's get ready. My time is on for 30 seconds. What are we doing with the arms? We're just curling up. Good job. So just doing bicep curls, making sure that your bum is suspended and all that pressure on the thighs. If this is too much for you for whatever reason, just come up. So you'll go into a quarter wall sit. Alright. For the rest of us, down here at 90 degrees, and only just for 10 more seconds. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, and time's up. Wonderful. Right, next up we're going to go with lunges. So I'm going to do modified lunges, and I'm going to do the advanced version. So modified, hands on the waist, step forward, and come up. Hard is when you've got your dumbbells, and we're going to do lateral raises as well. So let's get ready. 3, 2, 1, side, down, step back. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So you step forward, arms to the side, back down. Notice how I'm not lifting the arms to ear level. I'm just at shoulder level, right there, and down. 15 seconds. How low can you go? Keep it up. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, and time's up. Awesome stuff. We're going to attempt a bridge, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to do it elevated. So, placing your stool against a wall. All you're going to do is placing your shoulders on the stool, step your feet forward, and guess what? Drop the hips down, extend, coming up, squeeze the bum. Keep that core tight. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 30 seconds. Squeeze. Drop down. Squeeze coming up. Good job. Let's go. That's it. 15 seconds. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze all the way up. Drop down. Squeeze up. Good. 3, 2, last squeeze, and 1. Fabulous. Drop all the way down. Right, and then we're just going to round it up with a plank. Again, this is a modified plank. If you want the advanced version, you'll be flat on the ground. So, modified plank, here we are. So you want to obviously maintain a nice posture, and guess what? We're not only doing a plank, but we're going to do plank walkouts. So, step to the side, back to the middle. Step to the side, back to the middle. Notice how I'm not lifting up the bum, and I'm not dropping it too low. So stay here. Let's go, 30 seconds. Keep that head neutral, so don't drop the head. Keep it in line with the spine. Good job. And keep breathing. That's it. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and our time's up. Wonderful. Very, very nicely done. Let's get into our stretches. Alright, so we're just going to start with our hamstring stretch. So folding in the one leg, flexing the foot, so turning the foot to face or the toes to face you, and all we're doing is a lateral rotation. So, much like how we started off, extend your arm, bend the elbow, and reaching all the way out towards your toes. And come up. You can change sides, flex the foot, and from here on, off we go. Hold it there for a brief moment. Remember to flex the foot, don't leave those toes out, bring those toes in. And then back to neutral. I'm going to go in with our groin stretch, so soles of the feet together, bring the feet close to you or close to your groin, sit up. So obviously we don't want to round it back, we want you to sit nice and tall, and from here on fold forward. Hold it there. And then relax. Again, one more time, open up and then fold forward. And relax. Wonderful. Coming into our child pose, a favorite of mine as well, and I'm sure a favorite of yours too. Opening up the legs to the edge of the mat, bring your bum all the way down, one fist on top of each other, and off we go. Send those hips down to the heels. Right, and then slowly come up. From here on, we're just going to go with a hip flexor stretch. So kneeling, all you're going to do is squeeze your bum, so you're going to tuck in the tailbone and then push forward. You're going to feel that stretch right across the thigh. And hold it right there. And then come back up, change legs. So again, this is where we are. Scoop in the tailbone, press forward. It's an intense stretch right across the hips, or right in front of the hip. And then relax. Good job. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I had a lot of fun, and I hope to see you same time, same place next week Tuesday. Have an awesome week and chat soon.